Good morning everyone and welcome to Suburban Stone Age. Today's video is about how to harvest homegrown artichokes. Artichokes are a delicious spring vegetable. The plant itself is perennial, so it comes back every year, but it flowers in the spring. And the flower buds are actually the artichokes that you eat. So today I'm going to show you this plant here that we've had in our front yard for years and how we harvest and enjoy fresh artichokes. So this is a close-up view of the artichoke, and right off the bat you can see it's pretty small in comparison to what you might find in the grocery store. It's the same variety as what you find in the grocery store. This is a globe artichoke, but commercially they do something, I don't know what it is, to get their artichokes to be very large. Mine have never been that large, and I pretty much just let my artichokes do whatever they want to do to be happy, so I've never figured out how to make them big. But what I have figured out is how to make them delicious. So the thing about homegrown artichokes is that they're smaller, but the flavor is amazing. Artichokes, I never really thought of as having too much of a flavor before I started to eat homegrown ones. But they really do, and it's delicious. Another advantage is that you get the leaves. Okay, so this is the artichoke bud. Artichokes are a flower that hasn't opened yet. You eat the, I guess maybe these are petals. A botanist could tell you for sure what they are. But traditionally we've always eaten these where you put these in mayonnaise, okay, and then you scrape the base off. There's a little bit of meat there, and then eventually you get down to the heart in the middle of the bud, and that's a very tender part of the plant. But when you grow your own, you can also eat portions of the stalk, which is very flavorful as well. You got to peel the outside coating because that does get a little stringy, but on the inside that stalk has a lot of really tender, yummy parts to eat as well, and you don't get that when you buy them commercially in the grocery store. So that's a little extra bang for your buck when you grow your own. Also, as you can see, when you grow your own, they're smaller, but you get a lot more. So it's nothing to us to have 8 or 10 artichokes in a single meal. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest some here now. I use this, it's a letter opener, but I've actually for years used it as my favorite vegetable harvesting tool. I'm just going to cut the base and then bring it inside. Okay, so these are the artichokes that we're going to have for dinner tonight. Let's see, we have 8. And that should be enough for, 2 adults, or 2 large servings for 2 adults, or 3 smaller servings, for 3 people. So you can see I've left a little bit of the stems on because I'll cook and eat those too. A couple tips when you are growing your own artichokes, especially if we don't use any insecticides or sprays on any of our plants. And so you do get bugs when you garden organically. What can happen if you let these buds go too long? As you can see how the petals are starting to open. Pincher bugs actually like to crawl in there and hang out, which is horrifying when it's hard to get out because you can see these are so tightly packed, and it's not pleasant to try to get them out. So the tip to combat that is make sure you harvest your artichokes when they're still pretty tightly closed. The tighter the better. You want enough so that there's something there to eat, but you don't want to let it go so long that the bud starts to open. Not only are they more tough that way, but again, you don't want bugs crawling in there and hanging out. So this is about as long as I'm going to let them go before I harvest them. Okay, I'm going to take them inside and show you how to prepare them. Okay, let's talk really quick about how you prepare an artichoke for cooking. So this is an artichoke that we just harvested. Like, you bring it into the house looking this way. What I do to get my artichokes ready is I start by cutting off the stem at the base, so you have a nice flat base here, okay? And that's going to make it easy to put into the bottom of the saucepan so that you can steam it. It'll help it sit upright. The second step is to take a knife and to cut off these little tips here, okay? They're spiky, they're painful, and there's no real good eating right there. So I just actually take a knife and I will cut off that top crown of thorns right there and flatten it out. See, that's how what that looks like. The step after that is to go through, and this outside ring of petals, okay, these little guys, they're tough and they're not good eating anyway. So once I've cut off the bottom, I peel off the outside couple layers of these tough, scaly petals or leaves. And you can see that I've done that there. Okay, see how they've been kind of peeled away? They go into the compost pile. And then finally, whatever leaves are left that are good to eat, you know, in a little mayonnaise or however you like to dress up your artichoke, you peel them off, and this bottom part here has the yummy part. I go through with just a pair of kitchen shears here, okay? And I clip off their little fingernails, their sharp little tips. I clip those off so that they don't poke anybody, which is not fun. You don't want your food to poke you. Finally, in order, then I go through everything one more time, give it a good QC check to make sure that there aren't any bugs or anything, no nasty surprises in these little petals and stuff, and give it a very good washing. And then it's ready to go into the pot. So what I'll do for that, it's a very simple procedure. I'll just take a little saucepan here. There's about, I would have to say maybe a 1/4 inch of water, just a tiny little bit, enough to just cover the base. See how it goes in there? And it sits upright because we cut that nice flat base. And I will tuck all 8 artichokes in there, so it'll just be full. The pot will be filled up with artichokes. And then you bring it to just a gentle simmer, and then you put a lid on. Okay, and you'll steam it that way for about 30-35 minutes. When you peek in there, it'll look relaxed and kind of soft and ready to eat when it's done. So you just give it a poke test, and when it's tender, it's about ready. And it's a very easy, gentle way to just steam your artichokes. And you know, it's a great opportunity to do a couple other things in the kitchen while they're going. And then at the end, they will be done and so flavorful. So here's a note too on the stems. See the stem here? This one's pretty small, but this was a stem that came off the bottom when I trimmed the artichoke. I've peeled it, okay? Because there is, on this one, you can see that tough, woody outer layer, okay? I peeled that off because that's not good to eat. But this kind of tender little tidbit here is very flavorful, and it steams up just the same. So to get a little extra bang for your buck out of your homegrown artichokes, I peel the stems, pop those in there, and eat them too. Okay, so here's, excuse me, here's what it looks like when you're ready to cook them. Tuck them all in the pot, and they're standing up nice and even. Put a little bit of water in the bottom. Put your lid on so that you can steam them, and you're off to the races. Now, if you have a couple extra, and in this case I did, 2 wouldn't fit in the pot, so I'm gonna save them for probably tomorrow night. All I do, if I need a day or 2 to wait on them, is just cut the bases off, so again, they stay upright, and then just put them in a little bowl of water, and that just keeps them kind of fresh and hydrated, and you know, you can get a couple extra days out of them. And then any of the little bits you have left over, you can take out to the compost pile. So that's it. That's how you cook the artichokes that you have grown in your garden. I highly recommend it because when you buy artichokes at the store, they are bigger, but they're also very expensive. They're like $2 a pop. And at that price, I've always felt like it was too expensive to experiment with. I didn't want to mess it up. It was a treat. When you grow your own and you have so many and they're so tasty, you feel like you can experiment with them and try different things. You can afford to make mistakes. You can get familiar with them, and they are delicious. So I recommend you grow your own and give it a try. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you have any questions about how to cook food from your garden, please leave us a comment below. And subscribe if you would like some more videos on how to live a more sustainable life. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.